We're very organized here.
Oh, no. Hey, listen, we're getting it done, baby. Good to go. There we go. All right. So Avery, introduced to you, the queen of the world of short term and the CEO of the Short Term Shop, and of course the author of the book, bestseller in 4 categories: short term rental, long term. Hey, everybody, Avery.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here on our first, what do we call it? Listing rescue or listing rehab?
We're going to call it both. For this particular call, we're going with rescue because of the David Hasselhoff theme that we had on Facebook. And we got several rock stars in attendance today. We got Joe. Joe owns quite a few rentals and is in the Carolinas as an active real estate agent and one of the biggest rock stars on the East Coast. We've got Tim, who is in the Smoky Mountains, properties in Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee, and is a badass real estate agent. And Mr. Chuck Kramer, who has business longer than any of us, and one of the people that I look up to and respect very much his opinion on this particular subject. In that, of course, of short-term rental. He's been around, has a ton of experience, primarily. Well, at least I know him primarily from the Smoky Mountain market, but he's also in the Panhandle of Florida. And then we have Julie, also been around for quite some time. Julie is a badass agent and owns properties specifically in the Smoky Mountains, and one of the very few people that I will take advice from in short-term rental. Holly is an ex-client turned agent. She is in Orlando, owns properties in, I believe, Florida and Tennessee, possibly Illinois. And then Reagan, same boat there as well. Also a client turned agent, and she's full-time in the Smoky Mountains now. I believe she owns in other markets. And when I met her, she was living in Texas. So hello, Reagan. And then Garrett is in high country, North Carolina, has yet to share his video, which is breaking my heart because he is a rather good-looking gentleman. And welcome from North Carolina. There he is. I told you, ladies, look out. So here we are with listing rescue. We're going to pull up some listings that have been pre-approved by the people that own them, and we are very happy to offer some creative or some constructive criticism as far as these listings are concerned. We have kind of glanced at these things, point out what, just protocol here. We definitely have glanced a little bit at these listings, but we're pretty much going into these cold, almost as if we are guests, scrolling and trying to decide which property we want to buy, but with plenty of expertise. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and get to our first victim here on the listing rescue. All right, here we go, guys. So let me make sure I can see all of your faces. And if anybody wants to chime in, you could, this will happen organically. Feel free to raise your hand, or just literally raise your hand, or just talk over me, which will work just fine. So this property is, I would guess, yes, Pigeon Forge. Brandon is the host on this property. First thing I notice here is that he's got I would assume this is an amenity picture. And does anybody know which HOA this is off the top of their head?
It's Smoky Cove.
Smoky Cove, yeah. So this is an amenity picture. Guys, do we want an event? To me, this is a little, maybe not a good idea to put something other than your actual property that you're renting as your, especially as your main picture. Any thoughts on that?
I bury those in the listing. I don't like it there because it's like, is that the cabin? Is that the cabin we're staying in? That's awesome. There's a pool right in front, but you don't really know. So I think having a picture, if you got a pool, that's awesome, but put it deeper in the listing.
I agree. Julie, you were going to say something?
Same basic thing. I think the only time, there may be markets where I know the Orlando market, those communities can have some really swank amenities. And so that might be more appropriate, but for something like this, I would want to see more of the space. What am I actually renting it for? Am I actually renting it for the pool, or am I actually renting it for, like, this one has a beautiful great room. It's kind of, got a secluded vibe. I'd be more interested in that as opposed to the community pool, which is nice, but it's not, you know, I don't know, it's not a water park. Orlando's got like freaking water parks in their communities.
I agree on all
And
points. Orlando is, of course, a weird animal when it comes to short term, but yeah, I agree. The amenity picture probably not be number one. Did somebody else have something that I just talked about?
Yeah, I agree with Julie. And the cabin is gorgeous. Like if you, when you
Mhm.
get down into the pictures, like there's no reason why they should not have gone with. I mean, the picture of the cabin is gorgeous.
This one,
It's a
I
great.
mean,
It's a
this is
great photo.
picture.
Yeah, even that one. Yeah.
Is this a good second?
What if-
I think this is a decent picture, but I wouldn't put this as a first picture. But what about pictures in general here, guys? I think we got pretty good quality, right? These are
Yeah.
acceptable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are great pictures.
Yeah, professionally done. Looks well staged across the board.
We've got 34 total. Thoughts on that? I think that's probably right in the sweet spot. Maybe slightly low for me, but anybody else have a preference on number of pictures?
I think that's good. I think in the first few pictures, you know, a colleague, Natalie, yesterday put it in a great, you know, kind of encapsulated it perfectly. The first 5 pictures should give the guest 5 reasons why they're booking me and not my neighbor.
Oh.
And so with this particular listing, I noticed that one of the selling points in the description is that there's a lot of parking, a lot of level parking at this cabin. And if that's something you really want to use to appeal to guests, then, you know, that certainly shouldn't be like a lead photo, but is there a good picture of the parking? Maybe a drone shot where you can see the cabin and like the big flat parking area that's right by it. I would look for that. I don't recall if there's a picture like that already.
Excellent point. I do see a couple of things that are hurting my balls just a little bit as far as the property itself. This is beautiful. I don't want to pick on this property, but I'm going to a little bit. These tops are pretty horrible. At some point, I believe I would go ahead and, you know, because you're only looking at maybe what, $2,500 or something to throw. This is not tiny, maybe $3,000 to put a solid surface granite, because it seems to be a little more durable than quartz. But that's something my eye, again, Phil, drag me down as we scroll
Yep.
through these pictures.
Hey, at least they're not green.
Green countertops
pink.
is a Julie
Or
pet
pink.
peeve.
I
Yeah.
see
lot of
plenty
them
of more
are.
offensive laminate
Mine are
countertops.
green.
Super common in this market here in the Smokies is for the green cheap countertops. Let's wait.
Yeah.
Hot tub.
I
hot tub
called
looks to
today and got
me-
I
Go
called
ahead,
today
Holly.
looking to replace mine. I called today around this morning looking, and they run about 50 a square foot.
Yeah,
So it's
Okay.
not bad at all.
No,
yeah, your
granite
low
has
end
gotten,
granite is around 50 a square foot plus.
Yeah.
has gotten cheaper over the years, which is great. Hot tub's been replaced and has the fancy top. Great job there. We do see a lot of old crappy hot tubs in the Smokies because people are just like, you know, they don't want to replace them. They're afraid to replace them. They're expensive to replace. We get that, but it must be replaced. So great job on that. That's cool. Love the hammock. I understand why these exterior pictures are last, and I think it's because maybe this host is a little self-conscious of the fact that the exterior is maybe a little difficult to photo. It is beautiful, but with all these trees, I can understand why it was, you know, you can see why it was maybe hard to photograph the exterior of this house, and maybe that's why they're towards the end. But anybody on that, I definitely would move one up.
I've seen when the house is a little bit difficult, like you said, like that, to do a drone shot at night with the lights from the house, like lighting it up. So then it kind of gives it that resort on the mountain kind of look. I mean, it just makes for a really good shot that during the daytime may not be, I don't know if I could find it right now, but you know, just a night aerial shot, not completely dark, but like a dusk, kind of like that-ish, but with the lights in the cabin, and it just looks really warm and inviting.
On that
And
same
we-
note, trimming, you know, you mentioned the hard to photograph. You could trim a few of those trees and that would open the cabin up a lot for photography.
Which we should point out is very common in East Tennessee. These are generally they're pin pines, and they grow 6 to 8 feet per year, and they do generally require some maintenance. And so, if anybody's from a different market where trimming trees is not, you know, we're totally cool with that. But in East Tennessee, it's pretty widely it needs to be done.
They're weeds. They're
Yes, they
giant.
are. Yeah. And that
Yeah,
giant. I mean, they're
I
only
mean,
like,
looking at that first picture, it also looks like that foundation could be maybe pressure washed. I can't tell if it's like dirty or that. Again, it's not a super hard thing to do right there on the.
excellent point. I do like the floor plan. Great job there
Yeah, those cabins tend to be really spacious and nice. I like them.
in that neighborhood you're saying.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at the actual listing itself. How are we feeling about this headline? You got you got amenity. I might maybe the location there we're missing maybe.
It is a great location. I noticed like big parking lot, parking is important, but parking lot makes me think of a parking lot. I would say maybe parking area or something else, or just like tons of parking, or tons of flat parking if you want to use that many letters. I wouldn't say parking lot because that feels very commercial to me. King beds are important, but most listings have them. I wouldn't spend that sort of real estate on saying I have king beds. Yeah, maybe something on the location would be great because that's an easy one. Easy roads, quick to town.
Yeah, I totally agree with all that. I like the structure of this headline. I think it's well done with the little, slashes, etc., and the emojis, which are sometimes not allowed anymore on Airbnb. But I agree. I think parking is well. First of all, parking shouldn't be the most attractive thing. So if we're going to do the parking, let's at least move it to the end, and then possibly location sort of situation here. And then I don't mind the king beds. But it is a lot of real estate, so maybe 2 king more appropriate if you want to go that direction. Again, I like the structure, but I feel like we could tighten this up and make it a little more appropriate. And definitely the great point there, Julie, with the lot.
We do a lot of seasonality in our descriptions. Spring special, fall special, Christmas, whatever. We get fancy with it, but we do charge ours up around the seasons a lot, and so.
Doing that sooner than you think. Like right now, you should be like, late fall on, maybe not quite Thanksgiving yet, but like fall fling or something like that would maybe be cool. And this is, again, we're doing this 1st of August. So let's look at the description. The first thing my brain sees is I personally would rather have this stuff here. I call this the boom booms, the bullet point boom booms, like boom, 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 boom. I usually at the top because, again, we only get 2 seconds to suck these people in. And if they're going to go through this longer stuff, it's usually because they're already sucked in because of the shorter stuff. So I actually like this description. I haven't read any of it, but again, most guests aren't going to do that either. But personally, I would probably flip the little stuff and the big stuff like top and bottom. Anybody else see anything here?
I think that's good. I agree flipping that. And then I like that it's short paragraphs. Really digestible.
Yeah, I like the white space is good.
100%. We see that all the time where it's like most people would combine all of this stuff into a run-on sentence, and that is not good. But the white spaces here, I think this is completely acceptable. He's really in this parking area, which I get that. I have a house that only allows 2 cars and it sleeps 12 people. It is a problem for me occasionally. So, RVs, I have a house that's RV friendly. Nobody's ever, I think RV people at the RV lawn in their camp. Tim lives.
This listing would be great to advertise, like Tim was saying, with the headlines when it's the car shows.
Yes.
Because I get so many questions at our cabin about, can I park a trailer there? How, can you take a 36 foot? What, like, he's got the parking that this could be, he could charge a pretty penny during those times when people have trailers.
Yeah, I've also had people that bring their motorcycles and want to bring their trailer, park their trailer, and then ride their motorcycles when they get here.
Does the HOA allow trailers?
True too. Does the HOA? Yeah, there is an HOA. That's for the host to figure out.
Right.
And then with the number of people it slept, that's what I was looking the whole time. Like, because I believe that when guests are looking, or when I'm looking, you want to know how many it sleeps. And it wasn't until you get down to, you know, the third line in the description that it says how many it sleep. Yeah, I could say, oh wait, there it is. Sorry, you're right. Sleeps 8. Yeah, I was just thinking that that's a lot of times people want to know, that's the most important thing, is how many heads they can get in there.
That's true, but a lot of people, to your point, won't look at this. They just look right over that and they just come down here. So it's to have that in more than one spot is what you're saying there. Yeah.
People should put the number in when they search, and then they only get results that can sleep as many people are in their party.
Very true too. This property is new.
That
It
would
looks
make
like
sense.
we'll start moving this one along. We've got this is a brand new property here. I believe that's Brandon. Sorry. And so we're not trying to pick on you. You're on the right track. Your photos are beautiful. You know, move some photos around. Let's look at pricing real quick before we move on to the next. We were looking at January. Let's go to modern times here. Well, he's booked. He's booked, guys. So
Yep.
let's check some prices here. It is a little bit more difficult to get prices on Vrbo than Airbnb. Just
Actually,
slightly.
hey, Luke, if you look
Yes, go
under the
ahead.
main photo and click on rates and availability, there you go.
There you go. So 197 a night. Yeah. What is this? A two?
It's a 2-2.
Two and a half.
2.5.
1,800 square feet. So it's probably closer to I would guess. It's more, maybe it has a loft. Just assuming at this point, knowing the market. So close to a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. Are we a little low maybe here on these prices?
I think so. I always think that.
Yeah, you always think they're low. I always think these are high. But I think we can agree. Anybody?
Those are also weekdays in September. You know, they've already filled their weekends. So, you know, I don't know. That's kind of what I'm charging for my 3.3 or 3.6.
Excellent. Weekdays in September are not easy to fill. So I'm okay with that being low. October's not all, which we are 1st of August. So how do you feel about that, guys? October being very easy to book in the Smokies. Are we high here, or is he doing the right thing?
I'd leave it.
Yep.
I'd leave it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot more last minute bookings across the board. And so some of mine are staying open until 2 weeks before, then filling. And so that's what's happening with ours, though. They're still filling and they're still doing well, but we just continually adjust those prices as it gets closer. Kind of pushes it up.
You guys, I'm also seeing that big time on really small properties right now, just last minute. This is obviously not in that category. So, Brandon, I think what we're saying here is that everybody on the call agrees that your pricing is wonderful. And welcome, Derek. Derek, also massive rock star in the space, #1 real estate agent in the Smoky Mountains, 2021. He owns properties in Texas and Tennessee. So, welcome, Derek. Have you chime in anytime you want. Anytime. So, guys, I'll move on to the second property. Oh, speaking of, I believe Derek is sitting in Gulf Shores right now, and the property, if I can get it to open.
I am. I'm here to learn as much as anything. I got to tweak my listing, so I'll have some pointers here and there, but I'm here to steal all the other ideas because I've been so busy selling and buying property. I've let my listings go. Luke could nitpick the crap out of mine right now. So
Same. Believe me.
I'm sure I've got some pointers to throw in there.
Okay,
I am
great.
Outside of Gulf Shores right now in my RV.
Yeah.
The plumbers always got leaky pipes.
That's true. The cobbler's son goes shoeless. Let's move on to Gulf Shores now. Orange Beach, to be exact. And this is Kale and Sarah. And we are fairly new listing that we're going to do. We've got both the Airbnb. We'll do Airbnb on this one. 3 reviews at 5 stars. And it is a condo, according to the headline. So let's start with pictures again. First picture, anybody? I think it's pretty okay.
Is that the first picture?
I don't love it.
Not crazy
No.
about it, especially since it's not even their property.
Yeah. It looks like that would be one of those big houses.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with that. It was a little confusing.
That's the
Mr.
view.
Chuck, I didn't realize that. I just assumed I was renting this property.
I did too. And I was like, why didn't they take a picture from that balcony looking at the water?
So
Okay, so I no longer like this picture. You're right.
They have another photo that I guess shows a little bit more of the balcony with that view, and I think is a better representation of the home in there.
yeah,
That, like kind of like that little slice
Yeah.
right there. Okay, picture number
little-
2 is simply a bedroom. Might be okay if their first picture hadn't kind of blown it, right? Maybe on the
I keep
second
going.
picture.
I like this one for an opening picture because it's one of the few I saw it that, I mean, so many condos, the lead photo is the living room, and so that in and of itself doesn't stand out. But this one has really great exposure where you can see inside and outside, and that blue sky, when you're looking at it on the Airbnb, just like page, and you see the thumbnail, you can't really tell that that's not the ocean. So I like this photo. It's certainly better than the one that's currently the lead, but I'd probably pick this one.
And I know everybody else does it too, so it wouldn't stand out, but one of those nice setups on that balcony, and maybe at like a sunset type, so that it looks like, the wine, so that the balcony looks more inviting, looking over what you think is like you said, the ocean view there.
Yeah.
Again, I'd consider this sort of an amenity picture. It might be too early in the in picture number 4 for that, but maybe not. Okay, here we go. Now this is okay. Problem is obviously it's blurry.
Yes, if that was a really good picture, that angle and shot could be cool, but it needs the picture's bad. So
But the thing about this picture is we now finally, after 5 pictures, have a representation of what we're renting.
Definitely. And I'd like to see some better patio furniture. I mean, I know that, it fits there and everything, but I don't know. That doesn't look like when I see a patio furniture picture, I want to go sit in it. And that does not make me want to go sit on that patio.
Right. This looks like I'm going to have to wipe cigarette ashes off of it or something.
But it is nice to have that kind of view, even though it's side, you could really highlight that. That's a big plus that they have there.
Their
I do
amenity
think it's
picture
good
here.
too that they've got all the like the captions underneath it filled out of what you're looking at. A lot of people do forget to put that on Airbnb, which I do think helps.
I have mixed feelings on that because
There you go.
I don't know. So over the years, maybe I forgot to change something on one of them that was no longer relevant or something. So I struggle with that. But if Joe thinks they're awesome, I'm going to go back and redo all mine.
I agree
I
with you.
think that I think having some type of caption under each photo. I mean, if you read in the research, it tells you that that's supposed to increase your rankings and the algorithms and everything else just by having that extra detail in there. And it can be short, much,
But
but
if you're looking at
I
this
try-
picture, you don't know if it's a master or the guest room or what. So it does help clarify.
Yeah.
And we got 36 pictures, so we'll flip through a little quicker here. Okay, kitchen. Kitchen again. First thing I see is outdated appliances, or at least inexpensive appliances. And if I'm renting something, even if it's a cheap unit, I still want, dude. It's like what, $2,800, $3,200 more in that area to go get brand new. You don't need an ice machine, stainless or anything. It just a little effort is something. I would appreciate that. Anybody else have thoughts on it being ridiculous?
I've gone into cabins and just, catch it on a sale. There are sales all the time for appliances. Like every time there's a holiday, you can get huge discounts on appliances, get basic rental level stainless appliances, and your local big box will come and deliver them and install them for you. This is a better lead photo for the kitchen because it's more attractive of an angle while still giving you the kitchen view than that first one that we saw.
Yeah, I
But
like
you
this
gotta
one.
Get rid of the white, right? Can we all agree? No white.
I think since it's a beach unit, white is a little more appropriate than in some of the other places we're in, but stainless definitely has a more updated look and it hardly costs any more extra.
But I'll give them the tops look good though, right? Or do we like
Yes.
the tops?
Yep.
So with the white cabinets and the way it is now, what color would you buy your appliances?
I'd
Do you
just go
want them to be
stainless.
black
Stainless.
to match stainless?
I would. do
Also looks
stainless.
like the oven's tilting a little bit. I don't know if it's just the angle of the camera, but that first picture that you posted, or
It does.
it looks like it's like unlevel, or the floor's unlevel or something.
It's probably just the feet on the oven.
Yeah, that should be an easy fix.
Okay, we got a floor plan and whoa. Oh no, that's the original picture, right? Oh, we got excited, but no. Wait a minute. Is this the exact
No,
same
it's not.
picture?
I don't think it is because you can see or maybe it's
A little
not.
bit more.
Yeah,
It's
no,
a little
not.
bit
Go
more
back.
of the
Yeah, go back
balcony.
one. I think it's the last
There-
photo, actually.
Yeah, there's some more perspective.
There.
You can see that
Yeah.
you can see why can I not think of the word balcony?
I
It's
think
very-
that balcony and one of those rooms inside could use some local art, beachy vibe stuff on the walls, and then professional photos would really make it pop.
More than
Only
likely, a
matter of
lot of
time
condos,
before
we're not
Airbnb
allowed to put,
Yeah.
put stuff, artwork and stuff on the balcony itself, because the balcony, the exterior belongs to the HOA. So they tend to, most of them don't allow that.
Chuck Kramer, is this photo technically not allowed because it does have third-party phone numbers here, et cetera?
Oh, definitely not allowed. It's only a matter of time. You're also not allowed to have words that are not part of a permanently affixed sign in your photos. So depends where, I mean, it's one of those things, you put it in there until you're caught. They're not going to kill your listing. They're just going to automatically take the photo out.
But do we need this picture? I almost kind of think this picture is probably not necessary.
I don't think so either. I
Okay.
mean, you
I
can just
think-
mention this in brief, in passing in the text. You don't need to take up valuable picture space with it.
Right.
Be a great page on the guest book.
Yeah, that'd be great
Cool.
in a welcome message or guest book.
All right, let's move things right along here. And Kale and Sarah, sorry you are getting rather roasted on your photos, but let's hopefully we can redeem ourselves on the listing. So spacious beachfront condo. How do we feel about the headline quickly?
Boring. It
I
doesn't
agree.
tell me anything meaningful.
Yeah.
The biggest word there I like is pool, and it doesn't even do the pool justice.
Yeah, and because it
That's a
is a
pretty
nice
cool pool.
pool. Is it a
It's an
heated
indoor
pool?
outdoor pool.
Yeah,
Indoor,
indoor, outdoor,
outdoor?
year round,
It's an
heated.
indoor outdoor. Yeah. Chuck, you make me laugh, buddy. All right,
Okay,
so
can you hold
let's
there,
look at
hold
the
there for a
description.
second? Can you hold there for a second, Luke?
Hold where?
Right there. Just something I want to bring up on every listing. It actually applies to Verbo too. When people write their text in their description, they've got to see how much of it is going to show here above the fold, as it's called. This is what's going to get people to click on show more. If you can't get them here and with your photos, they're not going to read all the other text that you put in there. They're just not
Boom.
going to click on that show more or whatever phrase Verbo is using nowadays.
Boom. That's
So
why I do the bullet point boom booms, man. Let's hit the high notes real quick, like 4 or 5 words each high note, and then get out, because that's the only chance you're going to get. And
Yeah.
like this is just a run-on sentence and a run-on sentence and a run-on sentence. And I mean, is the check-in, check-out time, does that need to be so high up in the actual description? This to me, I'm going right past this because it's just too much. It's too much junk, boom, 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 boom. Anybody else here?
well, let me just add that they are getting back to the pool. They've got a nice looking pool on the beach, indoor, outdoor, and heated. And I don't think I saw that here in the description anywhere.
Mm. It is, it's buried in the middle of that first paragraph under the space.
Heated,
Okay,
indoor,
I like
outdoor,
the pool.
swim through pool. Okay.
Yeah.
But
And like
I mean,
this is a circumstance where I feel like having an amenity photo of the pool would be more appropriate early in the listing. Do I want it as the
Yeah.
first thing? No, but in your first like 5 or 7 photos, I can see at least one image of the pool being appropriate.
yeah,
And guys,
and
this is a condo that sleeps 4 bathrooms in Gulf Shores area. Look at the pricing here. I know Tim owns 2 condos in this market, so I think closest on what we should be charging here. How are we looking on prices? September.
September, that's a little high. Not crazy high, but it's a little high.
And then October, I would assume we can probably get a decent amount of bookings in October, but it is starting to slow down.
Yeah, no, October's still pretty good. You still get decent stuff. And this is relative. Again, it kind of comes down to the closer they are to the water. And if you can see the water, the longer it stays. And this one has some water views. So I think that they're still going to have some legs in October. So.
And then we've got November 151 tonight. Tim, does that look about right? I'd say that's
That's even a hair high. You
Oh,
know,
is it
my
hot?
November, December's in the dirt. That's my slowest time. So by
Right.
far.
Okay, great. So, guys, got a little roasted on this one. Sorry, Kale and Sarah. We do like the property. I think we can all agree we like the property. It just needs a little
Yeah, it's a
sprucing
great
up.
place.
Yep. I think really what probably set all of us off on this long negative tangent was the first photo. Kind of blew the whole thing. So, real easy fixes here, guys. And it is a brand new property, so still plenty of time. And of course, great 5-star reviews, 3 out of the gate. That's a fantastic job there. All right, let's move on to the next here. What do we have? Pull this one up. We have the Forgotten Coast, which I don't believe we have any Forgotten Coast agents on the call.
My
other
favorite.
Than, Avery and I do, of course,
Just
own
me.
a property in this market. Sorry. Here we go. And we'll do Verbo on this one. So we've got Stephanie here. She's got a 3-bed, 4-bath, sleeps 8 in 6 beds, 3 full bath, 1 half bath. All right. How we doing on the description or the headline, I should say? Anybody?
I like it.
I
Yeah,
like it too.
Yeah.
Do we need Forgotten Coast Beach House in there? I mean, aren't we at? I mean, you're kind of searching for Forgotten Coast already. Is that just a waste of?
Well, I might say exactly where it is because there are a lot
Okay.
of areas in the Forgotten Coast. So if it's on Cape San Blas, I might say Cape San Blas, or like if you're on Cape San Blas, the North Cape is more desirable than some other areas, or it's the most desirable. So if you've got like a specific and really desirable area like that, I might, instead of just Forgotten Coast, I might say North Cape. And because a lot of people, when they're looking specifically for this part or that part, or they want to be in Mexico Beach or St. George Island. And like, Mexico Beach and St. George Island are at opposite ends of the Forgotten Coast, and they're like an hour and a half away from each other. So you might want to know that when booking.
I think you cannot be too specific because, at the end of the day, people are generally just not that bright. Somebody else I just stepped over, please chime in.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't really know the area or market. Maybe it's obvious, but I can't. Is it a 5-minute walk or a 5-minute drive from the beach?
Very true. Huge difference. Here we go.
Great
Right
point.
there. Drive. And that does make a huge difference. So I don't know, guys, would you even highlight a 5-minute drive? We maybe need to remove this now. 5-minute. How far is a 5-minute drive? I don't even know.
yeah.
And is there parking?
And I guess that would
because-
kind of be like market specific because, like in the Smokies, a 5-minute drive's nothing. But if I'm assuming a 5-minute walk on the beach and it's not that, like I might be a little bit disappointed.
It did grab the attention though, if that's what it was supposed to do to get you to look more into the listing.
Our first, this is a very good job here. Verbo does allow a video on picture number 3, either a video or a horror. It could be either one on YouTube. Great job. They hired the right photographer. They probably paid a pretty penny for this, which they should have. Cannot spend too much money though. So picture number video, and let's see if it's an actual, yeah, it's a real video. So fantastic job on that. This is a big money maker. Big money maker. Great job to the host on that. And the beautiful pictures overall. I know exactly who he used on this. This was Panhandle Productions, but great on the photos. Now, if anybody wants on photos here, maybe specifically on the order of the photos, because I think we can all agree they are great photos.
Yeah, I'm like,
How we feel?
I don't know that I love this as the first photo. I like the photo as one of the early ones, but probably not the first one. Definitely leaves the one of the doormat. That doesn't tell me anything about the property. I want to see something of the exterior a little earlier on.
I agree. Picture number 2 should not probably be the doormat, but great photos in overall. Anyway, we got a Mr. Coffee. We got solid surface and we got stainless. So great job there, guys. I think
Yeah,
we
it's
can all
beautiful
agree.
house.
Gorgeous house. This carpet did catch my eye.
Mm.
Stain right here. Doesn't need to be done right now because it looked like the rest of the house had newer floors. Oh, we've got a red dot. Great job. I'd like to see where the beach is in this picture, but maybe next picture. Oh, we've got a 50 amp. Is that
Yeah,
50
so
amp?
I would probably say, is that a 30 or is it a 50? But also I noticed going through this listing the first time, there's like 3 different photos of the place you can plug in your EV. When I have that one's pretty deep in the listing. Now I might advertise in my headline that EV charging is available, but most people are going to be like, what's that? Why am I looking at an electrical box?
Charging, and you do have that at your properties, Julie. Does it get used much?
You know, I don't know. I don't really have a way to monitor it. I know it's
Yeah.
important to some people. I know when I travel, it's a really key amenity for me. I drive an electric car, and I think it's going to become more and more prevalent. So especially if there's not readily available electric car charging in your market, then offering that could be really important to some guests, and it's a pretty minimal expense. But
Should that be in the
not a
title?
mandatory thing.
Would you want to see that in the title if that's specifically what you have to look for with your vehicle?
I would filter by it. So, but I am a believer in filters. Not everybody is. And EV does not take up a whole lot of space. So if I've got the room in my headline for it, I'll pop in an EV.
Hey,
That's a
Luke,
good one
while
there.
we're doing this, will you tell everybody, we've got a few comments of people asking where they can send their listings to be critiqued for another time?
Yes, you can hit us at listing rehab is not up and running yet, but right now it is listing rescue at theshorttermshop.com. And of course, we will be sharing all this info with clients, and particular call will be reshared on Facebook. But for the folks that are on live, we will reshare this. No worries. But listing rescue at theshorttermshop.com. We've got a community pool. Cool. Why did we save the community pool for picture number 39 of
Yeah, I
40?
did it earlier.
Cool pool. I like it.
I
Yeah.
would have cropped that picture down a bit because you'll notice that there's road construction in the upper right, or some type of construction in the upper right.
Mm.
So I would have just
Look at
cropped
that.
it down to get rid of that.
You guys are
You guys are freaking
perceptive.
ninja. He's a ninja.
I spent 4 hours looking at these last night. So
Oh, you cheated. Okay, good job, Chuck.
We
Good
did
job.
the homework.
Came prepared. Good job, buddy. Was there fancy beer involved?
no, there was not. I wouldn't have
Oh.
made it 4 hours.
Okay. So great photos here, guys. For Stephanie, please maybe tweak them a little bit. I don't know that we found our first wow picture. Sorry, Julie.
Hey, well, and I was going to say with this particular listing, there's a different order on the Airbnb page that I liked better. So if you
Yes.
want to just flip over to that real quick, and we can look at that.
But I don't like that first picture.
I don't know if
It
like
looks
with
like
this
a-
one. This one, there's too many of the exterior right up front. But I mean, pick one of those, I guess. But this overall, I feel like is a better order.
I have a question on this particular property, or this one here. You see it? It's like
Oh, Luke, you dropped out.
Oh no, Luke, we lost you.
1, 2, 1, 2,
Oh, there
1,
you are.
2,
Yeah, yeah.
2, 2,
You're
2.
back.
All right. So on this one, we do have like you open. It's like a flow. So you open the door and there's the living room, and then slightly different living room and slightly different living room. Do we like that, or do we want them broken up more?
I wanted the first few photos to highlight the key points, but then after that, I do like a flow because I want to be able to get a feel for how the space fits together. But that takes some time. And so first, again, first 5 to 10 photographs, I want to be the highlights. And then after that can really dig into the details.
All right, and let's move things along here, guys. Obviously, I'm pretty sure after the few we've done, we can all agree this is probably just one big run-on sentence and not exactly looking for, especially the Chuck. I'm sorry, term you used.
Is
I'm sorry.
TLDR.
Above the fold.
Well, yeah,
Above
TLDR.
the fold.
Above the fold, yes, we are above the fold here, and I think we can all agree this probably needs to be, or of not a sentence. Any thoughts on this quickly, or should we move into practice?
I agree with what you just said completely. And we should also add that people need to take advantage of tools like Grammarly is a good example. Drop their text in there. It'll catch spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes. I mean, if you're putting your, $500,000 house out there and you're renting it, hoping to get $100,000 a year, you can take the time to be sure you don't have any spelling or serious grammar issues in your text. There's some people that would just turn off. By the way, I'm one of them.
I will say I am not aware of any spelling or grammatical errors in this listing, but in general, that is an excellent tip.
Yep.
Yes, that wasn't not specific to this listing, but great point.
Yeah, just overall.
247 for, what do we have? We got 3 beds, 3 beds, 3.5 bath. We don't have a square footage on the front page there, so we don't know the square footage right now. But September is difficult in this market. It's not impossible. It's not even close to impossible, but it is difficult. I would say he's probably pretty close. I think he's probably pretty close on that price. How booked is he overall? Let's look at August. August is very well booked, nicely booked. September could use some work. So for me, and it looks like his Labor Day is already booked. Personally, I'm going to go ahead and drop all this to the same number. That's what I would do, is put like all these empty August and Septembers at like whatever the number is. I mean, he was at 249, so I'll go with that. 249, I might put it in the listing. Hey, back to school special 249 for the remaining August and September, or on a beach property, maybe even October. Not a mountain property probably, but so for this property, I think, yeah, we're on the right track. Pricing looks okay. Fix your run-on sentence in your description. All right, let's move on to another one here, guys.
All right, and this will be the last one because we do have a hard stop at like 12:27.
Where has the time gone? Do we have another one in the chat? I think
yes,
we've gone
there's
through
an
these.
there's an Emerald Coast,
Emerald Coast
one.
Yes, you're right. You are always right. Got the Airbnb. Let me get the Verbo. And we'll do Airbnb, guys. How's that sound? Cool. Here it is. Oh, yes. I looked at this one yesterday. I kind of like this first picture. Anybody? Although it's kind of like, wait a minute. Am I renting a couch? Is this a museum or what is this? But
no, I like it. I like it. It's cute.
I
It's
like the
very
color.
mid-century and cute. Yeah.
Yeah, the colors make it stand out from all the other living room photos.
I've got that same picture in one of mine.
You're using their picture?
Yeah. Why you got a picture of their house?
That's right. First one.
You mean the art? Yes.
Yeah, the art.
He doesn't mean the overall photo.
Yeah.
Means
I'd never do that.
We got that. Flirty Flamingo. That's a little name there. I will say that I did look at this on mobile and it was like here. It was, you couldn't see the pictures. It was like a half a picture. So that's maybe something to consider. There you go. Do we like this as second picture?
No, it's
like
tacky
it.
caption.
No, and
You don't like it.
I hate the fact
I like
it's measured in miles.
It just needs to be it just needs to be presented like that first picture looks like straight out of Instagram, and this one looks like middle schooler made it. Like
Yeah, the big
I
black
like
box
it though.
is-
I like the stick man, Garrett. Come on.
I don't.
I don't.
Stack it.
I
Uh,
just like it because it tells me how far I have to walk to the beach.
I think it's
Yeah,
great for that, but I just mean the
the black
aesthetic of it.
box.
The aesthetic of it does not match the first picture.
Yes.
The first one looks like an Airbnb plus.
And
Yeah.
just
But
a
you should
reminder
also
here.
you should never present a walking distance in miles.
True.
Blocks,
Like how many
feet, minutes,
steps?
but
Yeah.
yeah, steps,
I
but
present it in beers.
beer. Yeah.
I'm with Avery. I mean, again, I do. Yeah, maybe they could have presented it better, but I do like that. Maybe not number 2, maybe number 3 or 4, but I like it. I like to know exactly how far
Yep.
from the beach. I agree with that. That couch is again, we're another picture of the couch, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, these photos
It's
are
a
great.
statement piece. I love it.
I'm curious if there's a better photo of the community pool because the building's a little dated and so maybe a different angle is more flattering on the pool.
Not so great tops and white appliances. Not the end of the world, but something to maybe look forward to.
It does kind of stand out when everything else is so updated though.
I agree.
This is extremely updated here. This
This is
looks
great.
great. Yeah.
Except the
Very-
shower curtain.
True.
I don't mind the shower curtain.
Oh.
I don't like
All right.
shower doors. They break.
I've replaced 3 since December.
I'm done replacing them. I'm getting rid of my shower doors and going shower curtain. It's not as classy, but you know, people break them.
I want to know who did their photos. I think they did a great job. They're making
Great.
all these things, even some of them are they're outdated, still making them pop. Like,
Yeah.
I like it.
I do like it. Great job.
Another
Yeah.
thing they do well that I think everyone should do is like the biggest TVs you can fit in a room. Like big TVs are cheap, they're easy, and everyone likes big TVs.
100% agree with that. I will go measure the wall and see exactly how much TV I can fit. We have the biggest TV on Cape Sandblast, and it's because I ordered it in and took it down there. You can't get it locally, right?
I
people
don't
appreciate that.
necessarily love the photos of like the fold out cot and stuff.
Yeah, those.
Especially when they only have 35 pictures. Like, I don't know.
Somebody put
Recommend-
contact paper on top of the old dryer.
Yeah, I don't love that either.
To hide the rust. Mine rusted
Yes.
like crazy right there. Yeah.
It was rough.
Well,
That,
maybe-
that,
Well,
that's
okay.
granite. That's granite, Luke. Come on.
Yeah, it's a granite dryer.
Marble.
I
I
don't mind
definitely
those
would
things,
lose
man.
a picture of the luggage racks. I mean, that doesn't add anything.
I agree. That is a really cool couch. All right, let's look at the rest of the listing here, and then we will part with sweet sorrow. Okay, so this is a condo. What's her headline? All right, anybody on the headline? Again, back
It
to the
says
2.2.
2 blocks. She let us
2.2
know
miles.
in blocks
Yeah.
how far. I
Let's
like
get
that.
rid of the miles though.
I agree.
Yep. Get a little more space. Put some
So
other
2
cool
blocks,
stuff in
2
there.
beach, and food, pool, Wi-Fi. Is that a good headline, or maybe we throw in? Oh, this is Miramar, so maybe we put Miramar in the title, or any suggestions to maybe spruce it up other than this?
Miramar- I mean, maybe just say trendy or something like that.
Trendy?
Remodeled, something to emphasize the design of it because it's
Yeah, it has
remodeled.
premium design. So definitely a word that catches that. I agree.
Insta-worthy.
Kitschy, cool.
Steps
I'm
to the
still
beach.
I'm still on the 0.2 miles because I feel like she was trying to be really specific and not subjective so that people aren't like, oh my God, you said 2 blocks, but it took me 20 minutes to walk. And that was misrepresentative. So I kind of feel like maybe, you can't really argue. Miles are not subjective. Blocks
Here's the
can
way
be
to-
kind of subjective.
Here's what I do. I go to the property and I walk to the beach and I count my steps. So 497 steps to the beach. Now, of course, I'm 6'4", so
I'll say
I was gonna
497
say
Luke steps.
are a little different.
Like half a mile.
yeah.
Yeah, they really complain about that.
I mean, she already mentions a 3-minute walk in the photo, and that would take up a lot less space, giving her room to put more in the title.
Mhm.
3
Well, I
minutes.
feel like you can just say
is
2
good.
blocks and get more specific in the listing.
You can.
All right. Speaking of the listing, how about our description once again?
It's pretty good.
I don't mind this at all.
Yeah. It's very visually organized. So I like that I can skim it and know exactly what I'm looking for and find it easily.
One thing is it looks like she didn't revisit her text after Airbnb shortened
Mm.
the
Oh, I see that
base. So it's actually cut off here on Airbnb,
Where is that?
right there.
right there.
Oh, yeah.
So that needs to get revisited. I think it's dropped to 500 characters.
I wish Airbnb would
this-
stop changing crap.
This did happen recently, so we'll give her a
Yeah,
free
July 1.
pass on that. It's possible she doesn't.
Julie's now going and checking hers.
Yeah,
Me too.
I need to.
All of mine have the boom boom.
All of
Something
mine
off.
need to be revised tremendously. So
I've got to do a lot of work on mine. I got to be perfectly honest.
same. That's why we do this. The
Well,
best way
great.
to learn is to teach. So we're here to teach so we can get better.
Right, absolutely. Okay, let's look at her
Amen.
prices and then let's see what we got here. $199. This is a 1 bed, 1 sleeps 5. Maybe a little high for August. Let's check
Miramar.
September. This price I don't mind. What'd you say, Julie?
It is in Miramar, so that's going to be a little higher end than some of the other areas, but
That's true. This is a classy area, slightly classier maybe than, dare I say, Destin, Avery, or we're about on par with Destin.
About the same. You wouldn't know the
Yeah.
difference if you didn't know where the line was.
Right.
October, wait here. October should technically be maybe a little harder to book than September, and she's quite a bit higher.
Actually, Luke, that's not quite true in the Destin Miramar area. We're well booked in October. That's when Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi all have their fall school breaks.
That's true.
Maybe that's one of the reasons that particular week is higher.
Yeah,
Same
Chuck, why
with
is the second week? It's the second week or the third week of October. She's got it quite a bit higher than the rest of the.
If she's on,
The 10th, yeah, that
we
one.
also have a holiday in there. You got Columbus Day on the 11th, which is a federal holiday.
Oh, Columbus Day.
So-
Look at that.
So if she's connected to Price Labs, it's probably driving that price up for that week.
There you go. Get your Columbus Days raised it up, guys, before it's too late. Awesome. So I think that's a fantastic group of people. And sorry if we didn't get to you. A little more yacky than we thought we were going to be on these things. I had a great time and hope to do it again. Avery, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, guys, thanks so much for being on here watching this. Thank you, everybody who joined to help critique our lovely panel. We're going to be doing this more often, especially with all the comments that I'm getting that are like, wait, you're not going to get to me. So if you want yours critiqued, send it to where, Luke?
Listing Rescue at theshorttermshop.com.
All right, send it to listingrescue@theshorttermshop.com. If you want to buy one of these wonderful properties with one of our wonderful agents, email agents@theshorttermshop.com. And thanks again, guys. We'll catch you later.